From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Quiet weather out there today. Afternoon clouds, morning sun. Not a bad Thursday. We're watching to the west now as rain showers begin to gather. We'll see some wet weather here late tonight. Temperature-wise, upper 40s across most of mid-Michigan this evening, but notice to the north, there is some cold weather gathering, low to mid-40s, and eventually that will be the rule here as opposed to the outlier. Forecast over the weekend is going to get really interesting. We've got a storm system on the way, and that storm system will likely bring some snow to mid-Michigan. Of course, the question is how much snow will we see? I think the odds you have to shovel, they're actually going up a little bit. We're probably looking at a few inches of heavy wet snow. So on Sunday, that's our best chance for shoveling, maybe a little bit more on Monday. We'll talk about the lake effect and all the details coming up. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
Tensions are rising among East Lansing community leaders and officials after 2 men filed federal lawsuits claiming police targeted them because of their race. It's our top story at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Siobhan Klepfer. The lawsuits accuse the city of East Lansing and its police department of racial discrimination and excessive force.
These lawsuits stem from an August Welcome Week incident where the men say their rights were violated. It began with an August 24th arrest outside Dave's Hot Chicken in downtown East Lansing when police used pepper spray while taking 2 men into custody. Police had accused them of fighting, but one of the men's lawyers say security footage shows his client was trying to remove the other from a verbal confrontation. The charges were voluntarily dismissed last month, but now the 2 men, Lonnie Smith and Mason Woods, have since filed lawsuits against the city of East Lansing, its police chief, and an officer involved in the arrest.
Sean Graney is here for you now live in the studio with more on the claims and how city leaders are responding. Sean?
Jorma, Siobhan, in both lawsuits, the men allege false arrest, excessive detention, and slander, saying officers violated their Fourth Amendment rights. Their attorney says it all points to a larger pattern within the East Lansing Police Department, which is being echoed by community leaders.
Somehow, the man who was about to be victimized and the person who stopped it from happening were the only 2 people arrested that night.
Get back! Get back! Police! Get back!
This is the body cam footage and the security footage of Lonnie Smith and Mason Woods' August arrest. Community leaders, including members of the Police Oversight Commission, say these suits highlight long-standing racial disparities in policing.
We have data on use of force that demonstrates there's an excessive amount of force. Black bodies have force use against them more often than white people based on the percentage of their population in this community.
That data refers to the 2024 East Lansing Police Use of Force report, which was reviewed by a sociologist hired by the Oversight Commission. He said he concluded there is a racial disparity. According to the census, 12% of East Lansing residents identified as Black or African American. But per the department's data, Black or African Americans accounted for 46% of the people subject to use of force. In September, East Lansing Chief of Police Jen Brown told 6 News the actions were in response to a rise in crime during Welcome Week.
Starting with Welcome Weekend, we've had a disproportionate number of minorities come into the community and commit crimes. And as police officers, we are simply responding to those crimes.
Her comments drew widespread criticism, including from Edsall, who called it overly racist. Brown later apologized. NAACP Lansing Branch President Harold Pope attended Thursday's conference about the lawsuit and says he's advocating for Chief Brown's resignation and overall transparency.
I think that they need to hold themselves accountable and be fully transparent, and that's all we've been asking for. So I know that when I started talking to Chief Brown, the first thing I told her is all I'm asking for is accountability and transparency.
6 News has reached out to the city and Brown for reaction to the lawsuit. A spokesperson said both the city and the police department have no comment. In a statement from September 26 regarding the Welcome Weekend arrest, ELPD said, quote, "We recognize the public's concern regarding use of force incidents. Transparency and accountability are priorities for our agency, and we are committed to keeping the community informed as appropriate." The next Oversight Commission meeting is on December 3rd, and we will be there and bring you the latest on this developing story. To read the full lawsuit, you can check it out at WLNS.com. Siobhan Jorma, back to you.
Thank you, Sean. The Lansing School District has to start looking for a new superintendent.
Yep, Ben Schuldiner was selected to lead the Seattle Public School District.
6 News reporter Delaney Rogers joining us now live in the studio. She's here for you with more details on these new developments. Hi, Delaney.
Siobhan Jorma, the Seattle Public School District made the announcement this morning after their board held a 6-0 vote yesterday to unanimously choose Schuldiner as their new superintendent, who has been leading Lansing schools since 2021. In a news release, Schuldiner said,
I've had 25 years of doing what I would like to believe is
I'm humbled to be selected and serve as the next superintendent of Seattle Public Schools at this inflection point in the district's history, end quote. The Seattle School District will now begin contract negotiations to finalize the hire, and Schuldiner spoke in Seattle following the board vote.
I've had 25 years of doing what I would like to believe is great education work. And I think today I can say that I'd like to believe I have found my permanent home. I'm so thrilled to be here. I am so thrilled to be your superintendent. I am so thrilled to stand here and say, let's get to work.
The Lansing School Board said in a statement that they are committed to a smooth and effective transition, and updates regarding interim leadership and the search for a new superintendent will be shared as soon as they become available. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Delaney. Well, this week, more than 3,700 people in East Lansing voted against a millage to fund the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Department. It failed with 61% of the vote. Today, City Manager Robert Bellarmine released a statement saying, quote, while we understand our residents are struggling with increased costs, we are still disappointed that a dedicated revenue source for programs and services offered through our Parks, Recreation, and Arts Department was voted down. He went on to say city staff will work closely with City Council to identify potential revenue sources and cost reductions to stabilize these important city programs and services.
Attorney General Dana Nessel announced today that Rob Menard pled guilty to felony charges today. In December of 2024, Menard and his wife Ann were charged with multiple felonies, including conducting a criminal enterprise for his role and allegedly misappropriating funds from 3 nonprofit organizations and 2 political action committees tied to former Speaker of the House Lee Chatfield. Today, Menard pled guilty to 1 count of larceny by false pretenses. He's back in court on December 17th.
The United States Marine Corps is celebrating its 250th anniversary, and both active duty and retired Marines from across the state celebrated at the state capitol today. Marines, young and old, gathered on the second floor of the rotunda to sing the Marine hymn. And after that, they joined a special House session, which took time today to honor the anniversary. State Representative Jason Wolford presented his commemorative resolution, recognizing the historic milestone and the legacy of the Marine Corps service to the nation.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
November, typically a time where we can see some snowfall and still some warm days as well. We've got the mild weather now, and the snow that's on the way this weekend. Our picks on 6 pick of the day from Tom and Gaylord. Check out this shot. Isn't that beautiful, with a nice reflection off some very calm water? What a beautiful weather picture. To upload your weather picture, all you have to do is visit our website, WLNS.com/share. A check of the probability of at least 2 inches of snow this weekend, in particular on Sunday and Monday. Snowfall totals, I think, in some areas will be significant, but others will completely miss out. The chance we see at least 2 inches, highest from Mount Pleasant through Lansing, and obviously much lower the further south you head, where more rain than snow will fall on Sunday morning. So I feel really good about us getting some accumulation. I feel really good about us getting some problems on the roadways with some ice forming here and there. But will we see 3, 4, 5 inches of snow like some computer models say? A little bit doubtful, since we have to go through some rain initially with this storm system. Satellite and radar rain is to our west. It will begin to break out and move in our direction tonight into tomorrow morning. So a wet start, but clearing skies and windy in the afternoon. We'll be in the upper 50s, so it will be warm. As we move into Saturday, now we start to watch to the west as our area of low pressure is getting a little bit stronger and beginning to make its move in our direction. By Saturday afternoon and evening, rainfall begins to break out to our southwest, So we'll initially be rain before we change it over to snow by early Sunday morning as temperatures dip below freezing. That means some icy spots on bridges and overpasses, passes, and maybe a little slush as well. By Sunday evening, it's lake effect snow showers. You know how these work. Some areas get a little bit of snow, some completely miss out. You'll have some sunshine, then you'll have a snow shower, a heavy snow shower moves through. Monday morning, in fact, probably very quiet, but then as the wind begins to shift during the day, we'll see more bands of lake effect snow showers set up and potentially move back in our direction. Temperatures out this afternoon sitting in the upper 40s for the most part. It's a fairly mild afternoon. On the St. John's cam, our current temperature at 47 degrees, humidity 54%. We've got mostly cloudy skies now in the Capitol cam. We're down to 48 degrees, south-southeast winds, only 5 miles per hour. Not a lot of wind out there today, which made it feel a little bit better. On the Grand Ledge cam, still awaiting our weather center to be back up, but we've got mostly clear skies out there tonight. So we head further south into Jackson, temperature 45, winds are light, and humidity at 46%. Final stop in Hillsdale, our temperature down to 47 degrees. Of course, no rain out there today, and our peak wind only 11 miles per hour. Tonight, the overnight low 42, way too warm for anything frozen, so it's just rain tonight. Tomorrow's forecast, we'll see clearing skies in the afternoon, but it will be quite windy, especially in the early afternoon. 6-day forecast, a weather-aware day on Sunday because of the potential of some accumulations. Temps cold Sunday and Monday, but then it warms back up, so things will melt fairly quickly. Tuesday and Wednesday, we go back into the 40s, and next weekend, another system could bring a rain-snow mix. Looks a little bit warm right now, but we're only a few degrees off from that being a problem.
Right. I don't mind winter. It's just winter driving, and so I'm dreading a little bit on Monday because it's really going to be everyone's first taste of, you know, if it sticks around.
And the morning commute's probably the worst of it because we're below freezing then.
Yeah.
We kind of, well, we all kind of forget how to do it until it starts to snow again.
Right.
We learn every year.
Yeah, real quick.
Thank you, David.